All right, what's up, everybody? It's Terminator Juice and kind of a spontaneous little podcast. Red Knight will be joining a little bit later. He's editing a video. Right now, it's just me and Ms. T. What's up, foos?
Hey, folks, Mr. T.
So, this is going to be kind of a recap of Sony's press conference and Nintendo's digital event so far. I mean, E3 just started with the showroom floor opening up, so maybe there'll be some more announcements or some better footage shown for some of the games for either Nintendo and Sony. But yeah, let's just start off with Sony. Just kind of give a recap, a highlight or two, and maybe what didn't impress us, and maybe a grade, and then we'll move on to Nintendo. I just want to say first and foremost, Sony's was way better than last year. It was an hour shorter, had a lot less fluff, but still wasn't amazing like a lot of people are saying. I didn't think it was amazing by any stretch of the imagination, but for me the highlight was that Horizon game from Guerrilla Games, even though I think that was kind of a bull shot, what they showed us. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, the mechanics, I don't know, is it going to be an RPG like they're saying, or is it going to be more of an action first-person perspective action game? Or was it third person or first person?
Third person.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff since then, so yeah. Bear with me as I try to remember everything. But that for me was like the most promising game of Sony's, and maybe even of E3 so far, for games I didn't know about. And then pretty much Last Guardian looks cool, looks about the same as we saw it in 2009, but it's cool that they revived the game, and hopefully whatever was stopping them from releasing it before, whether it was technical limitations or just maybe gameplay elements, hopefully they got that worked out, and it's going to be a great game. I know a lot of people are going to be hyping it up, but I'm going to be a little bit more reserved. As a Team Ico fan, I really love Shadow of the Colossus, my favorite PS2 game. I'm looking forward to what this game's going to offer, but I'm not going to sit there and just say I'm so hyped for it without really knowing too much about it. And like I said, they didn't show much new from the 2009 PS3 footage, so that was, it was exciting, but it was also a little disappointing. And then just a lot of the BS with the Disney Infinity 3.0 and the bad speakers, the bad presenters, or whatever you want to call them. There's two of them. One was I don't know his name. He had like the gray suit, glasses, kind of remind me of Roger Ebert from the Movie Reviewer, kind of. And then there was a dude that came out during what was that game he was trying to make it sound exciting? Was that Disney Infinity? He was like just
Disney
Infinity. Those were the two low. That was a low point for me. That the Disney Infinity for sure.
What about the TV stuff?
Yeah, we were kind of chatting over that. I don't even remember it.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna get a pass for that TV stuff, even though
it does. Like, if you could seriously just a la carte your favorite networks, like if I could just get Sci-Fi Channel, HBO, and my local channels, and save a lot of money, that would be awesome. Like, honestly, I would actually be all for that.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. It's just
it was a little TV thing. And then Final Fantasy VII, like the people that are getting excited for that, I got to remind them that they did the same thing for the PS3 and it never came out. So don't get too excited. I don't know what they showed at the Square Enix press conference. I didn't get to check it out. So maybe if they showed actual game in progress, someone correct me. But before I give my grade and stuff, why don't you give some of your thoughts?
Yeah, my standouts for it too were Horizon. I mean, even if it doesn't look as good visual, I don't care about that. It just looked like a cool looking game, Mm-hmm. So if it turns out the way it looks, and I don't mean looks as in visuals, I just mean as in feel, and the story seems like it's going to be kind of cool. And the art style was a good art style.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really intrigued by what's up with these mechanical dinosaurs and whatnot. It seems pretty cool. And the main character, so that looked good. I think it's For Honor, I think it was called,
mm-hmm.
with the kind
of
that was pretty cool. I mean, From what they were saying, it seems like a cool concept. Obviously, that's the type of game that you probably have to put your hands on and play, as far as the combat goes, to see if it
I
turns
actually
out.
saw that before the Sony press conference at live at E3 on YouTube with Jeff Keighley. They
Did
actually
you?
talked to the developer, and
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that he was talking about it, and
he's
from what
been,
he was saying, it seemed like it was pretty different.
and
So,
that's a Ubisoft game, right?
For Honor, no, that was a I don't want to say first party. I'm not sure about that,
What's
but
the one?
I
What's
know
the
it was a
Ubisoft
Sony.
game that had like the Vikings versus the Samurais? Because it was Ubisoft Montreal where it was working on
Well,
that.
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was.
Yeah, that's. But the guy was the creator. He said he's had this idea for a decade, and they've had
Right.
like
Yeah. So it had to be.
hundred variations of the game. Um, so I mean that definitely could be a pretty cool game, but then it's just like a 4-on-4 online
Right.
only
It
type of
needs to be
game.
expanded, I think,
But
if it wants to
yeah,
impress me. But
that look cool.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I just thought that what was the game? I can't remember the name of the ICO game. Last Guardian.
Mhm.
I just thought it looked suspiciously like the footage we saw 6 years ago. Like really close.
Yeah, even in that 2009 trailer, they show the dog jumping and like
Yeah.
slipping. The last thing they showed in that gameplay demo was in the 2009 reveal of the game where the dog was kind of slipping away.
Yep.
So
They could have showed this then, and it would have fit right in to that footage. So I'm a little suspect on it, and it's a I like Ico, I like Shadow Colossus. I have them both, beat them both. So I'm looking forward to. I can't say I'm really excited for Last Guardian or anything, but
there was something holding it back from releasing on the PS3. Like I said, it was either technical difficulties or they just didn't have much of a game.
right.
So we'll see.
I still kind of feel like they just didn't have much of a game because if it's been in development, even if it's been in development hell for 6 years, I think you would have a little bit more to show, especially at E3, especially when you're trying to impress people and bring it back. Like, oh, it's back, guys. We're still working on it. I think you would have some little bit of story elements, a nice little trailer, not just that little gameplay clip.
And maybe that
and
dog.
Sony has no problem showing trailers, so
No.
I'm a little
Maybe
surprised.
the dog bird falls, and then the whole game is you trying to get down to the bottom, see if it's still alive.
It may be,
But
yeah.
yeah,
Final Fantasy VII. That's my. I'm the last thing I'm gonna touch on because it's one of the things that stood out. Again, that looked like it could have easily have been an outtake from Advent Children. Like that could have been something left on the editing floor for that Advent Children Final Fantasy movie that came out a few years ago. So, I mean, I can't get hyped for a trailer. Like I'm looking forward to, what is it, Scalebound? But I'm not hyped for it because I haven't seen anything. That's the same thing, and it's hard for me also to get hyped for, even though it's a remake or even though it's Final Fantasy VII. It is still a remake. You kind of know what to expect, so it's hard to get. I wasn't like overly excited for Zelda Wind Waker either. I thought it was cool, but I still barely played it. I bought it, but I still have barely played it. So
it's definitely the improvements in Wind Waker. I mean, were astounding compared to the original.
I mean,
so
I know all these things. I just haven't. I've beaten Wind Waker twice. So it's kind of. I'm sure once I get into it, I'll play it. But what I'm just alluding to the fact that Final Fantasy VII is, at the end of the day, still just a remake. So
yeah, I mean, the people that love that game, I guess if Nintendo would have announced they're remaking Super Metroid and didn't have much to show, I'd be excited.
Yeah,
but
I'd be excited for it, but
it's not like Nintendo's pulled a Square Enix.
That wins the show right there.
Yeah. I'm just saying, be cautious. This game might never see the light of day.
Right.
So
that's what I'm kind of alluding to. So I don't know. I hope it does. I'm just, from what I've seen, which was not much, it's hard to get overly excited for it.
They showed, what was that thing we were kind of talking during they showed like a really simplistic looking Final Fantasy style game right beforehand, and I missed what that was.
I don't remember.
We were kind of talking about something else at the time,
Yeah.
but also, I just want to make this clear. Sony had some good games at
Oh,
the
yeah.
press conference, some great games, but they showed some very poor. They made some very poor decisions on what they decided to show. Batman Arkham Knight, like we've seen some really cool demos from that game in the past, and then you show us this really lame first person type of game.
That was off-putting as hell.
Yeah,
like I'm a huge Batman fan, and I didn't like that. I guess it's some kind of DLC that they're exclusive to.
Yeah, exclusive to PlayStation, and it's just that was the worst that games look like. That showed me something better. I know they probably already showed us the coolest aspects last year, but that was just a weird choice. What was another one? They like Battlefront. EA showed a way better Battlefront demo.
Yeah.
So that was kind of lame. They're cutting between supposed gameplay, like online multiplayer, into like CG cutscenes or whatever.
There was cutscenes in there.
So it was like, what were they trying to show us? I mean, it was just they could have showed us something a lot better. And I know EA wanted probably their conference to have the best footage, but it's just a fact that Sony got the lesser footage for that game, just like Microsoft got the lesser footage for The Division and Rainbow Six Siege. So Ubisoft and Fallout 4 for Microsoft. Bethesda had a way better showing than what they showed in Microsoft. So it's just like they got the B side clips for those games.
Right.
Still might be amazing. Like Batman could be an amazing game. I'm gonna pick it up on my PC eventually. And Battlefront could, if it turns out to have solid gameplay. I mean, what they pulled off with the obviously the PC build looks really impressive. And apparently it was run on the PS4 at EA. They said, but whether you believe that or not, it still looked impressive.
Yeah, it was good.
It's just they chose some weird things to show us from those games, and then No Man's Sky showed us basically the same. The guy was all super nervous and excited, but I mean,
I just don't understand. You would think after what has it been, 15 years of E3?
This is the third time we've seen No Man's Sky. They showed it at the Game Awards. They showed it last year at E3, and they showed it this year at E3. It's basically get in ship, fly to space, and then go to another planet and go to the surface. Like that's basically all we've seen. And it doesn't look like you actually fly the ship. You just click somewhere, and the ship kind of just goes for you. And then once you get on the ground, you can walk around. So there's a lot of people hyping that.
And the thing is, like, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't even be talking about this game if I didn't care. Like, this game should be a game that I want, and it's supposed to be, but I haven't seen any gameplay. Like,
the idea is so like awe-inspiring. If it actually has fun gameplay, like within that universe, which, like you said, you'll never visit most of the places because it's basically the size of space. I don't it's cool to like hope for that game and hope it turns out. I hope it turns out because I like science fiction. I like some of the stuff I've seen, but don't show us the same thing 3 times in a row.
We've seen this thing 3 times, right? So by now I should be seeing, because they're talking about stuff we're still not seeing. He said something about battles and trading and all. I haven't even seen other people in the game. Have you?
No, honestly, this game could be 2 years out still. I mean, 2-3 years out. We don't know.
But it's supposed to be coming out this fall.
I don't believe that. But yeah, it's just I just felt No Man's Sky really needed to show something different for me. I needed to see something a little different than what we've seen in the past 2 times we've seen it. So that's
an inventory system, something like we haven't seen like even that.
And then he's said, I got 3 minutes. Like, why only give him 3 minutes? And maybe there'll be like a full demonstration on the showroom floor or something. So I guess, but even
if they only give him 3 minutes, how about him doing something that we haven't seen for 3 minutes instead of the same stuff we've already seen?
Yeah, that was, that game when I first saw it, I was impressed, and I saw the same thing again. Then I lost a little luster. Now I'm seeing basically the same thing again, and it sounds like just basically if you want to spend the rest of your life exploring these randomly created worlds that could be interesting, or he says a lot of them aren't. He even said it in the.
He said it himself. He said it.
A lot of the planets aren't very interesting. So I mean, it's a cool concept. We'll see how it all pans out.
It was so disjointed. Like this, what I was trying to say earlier is that we've had 15 years of E3, right? At least, and you would think they would get this stuff together by now, but you have these weird, still disjointed things happening, like presentation wise. And we're gonna get into Nintendo too. So
yeah, Nintendo's got some lumps coming too. So don't think we're just bashing.
No doubt about it.
But let's finish up with what they ended the press conference with. I like to call it Need for Speed Uncharted. Started off, froze up. They had to restart it. We were just like, and a little bit of walking, then a whole lot of navigating a vehicle.
But hold on, let's go back to that real quick though, because people were trying to say it was a controller thing. Why would you have to reboot the whole system for a controller issue?
Yeah, like if the controller died, you should have been able to just reactivate another controller. So either way, they had problems. That game's 2016. I think it's going to be holiday 2016. I think they're going to have to push it.
Yeah.
But why don't you, since you're the bigger Uncharted fan out of the, between the two of us, why don't you go ahead and give your thoughts on what you saw this time versus what we saw at that Sony experience months back?
I like the stuff from the last time better. I mean, because at least you got to see some variation in the gameplay. Like we got what we got, and I love Uncharted. I'll just say that I have 1, 2, and 3 on PlayStation 3, and 3 to me is not the best one. Obviously, it's the worst one, but it's still good. So, but like we got a driving sequence. They were running through a crowd, which looked really similar to Uncharted 3 for a minute, and then they were getting shot at, and they were ducking and whatnot, and then they get into a car and they're just driving, and there's no way like you're just driving on your own because you wouldn't know where to go. So my guess is that they were holding back prompts, basically left on the D-pad, right on the D-pad, triangle, square, whatever, to where you're supposed to turn, because you didn't see anything like that, and it was too open to know where to go. So they were obviously hiding the quote unquote quick time stuff.
Yeah, because you have to end up jumping like they did and using the the hook on the rope.
I'm an Uncharted veteran. I know better than that. So
no matter what, you're going to end up in the same spot. And like you said, I think they were just hiding you might have to like press gas and brake or something, but I don't think you're fully steering so it was just kind of
but here's the thing. Visually, it looked good, but like, so what? It's supposed to look good. It's PS4. It's Uncharted. It's supposed to look good. Visually looks good, but again, this is a game that's supposed to be coming out in March, I think, of next year. And we have gotten no story elements whatsoever. And that just, for a game like Uncharted, which is a cinematic game, that's pretty weird to me. No other characters we've seen, like main characters other than Sully and Jake, or
Drake.
Drake. Yeah, Drake. I said Jake. I'm thinking of
Jake and Sully.
Jake Sully from Avatar. From Drake. And so like no idea who the villain is or what this plot is about. That's some stuff that should be out by now. No?
I don't know. When
they did it in the other Uncharted. I knew about that kind of stuff.
Maybe they're trying to keep the story a secret and just show you
which is fine, but it just seems really weird to me at this point.
I felt the Tomb Raider made the same mistake, showing all the Michael Bay moments, like from Armageddon, where everything goes wrong and everything's going to shit. Like that's the moments, and those moments were in the Tomb Raider reboot, and they were actually fun because they only lasted a minute maybe. Right. But to build your first reveal for this game around
on a scripted freaking quote unquote action sequence, really?
Yeah. I don't want to see the action sequence, but that's just me. I want to see the platforming, the scaling to get to a high point, and that kind of stuff. And Lara Croft looked kind of weird I don't know what they did to her face.
Something was weird in her face, right?
But anyway, I felt Uncharted as someone who only played a little bit of the first game. I thought what they showed at the Sony experience or whatever had me excited for the game, and what they showed at the Sony press conference didn't build on that excitement. It actually took a point, like for me, it dropped down a little bit because I mean that's a Call of Duty moment, like get in a car and all the stuff's happening, but you really aren't controlling much, and that's
and again, it'd have been one thing. We had a bunch of angles, but the whole time we're like behind the Jeep,
mm-hmm.
and I'm like, this is wow.
Yeah, so I mean, people that like Uncharted, I mean, if that blew you away, I mean, that's your opinion. This is our opinion. Obviously, that's why I said thoughts and onions, because I know probably not going to have the most popular opinion.
Well, we're already disqualified because we're Nintendo fans about Sony stuff. So,
yeah, and someone, what's his name, from Brian Altano from IGN tweeted like, "How could you not want a PS4 now?" And I'm like, not in 2015. I don't. I mean,
right. Like, I mean, none of this is none of this is 2015.
Eventually,
none of it.
I'll probably have to get one because Horizon looks sweet, and Last Guardian.
But for Uncharted. So
I think the other thing worth mentioning is Sony got the Call of Duty exclusive DLC. Like no one cares at this point. I think that ship's a little. It's like arriving too late to the party, more than
I thought the same thing. I thought because we talked about how Sony has become, or the PS4 has become the 360 this gen, where it gets the first exclusive DLC maps and all that stuff. But I think that was a thing that worked for that era. I think we're past that, where that has an effect on sales or whatever, because Destiny. I believe Destiny sold better on Xbox One, even with all the exclusive stuff for PS4.
I'm not sure if it sold better, but because I know
or it didn't sell. It wasn't that much of a gap, and it should be huge because there's a huge gap in sales.
Yeah, and Advanced Warfare actually sold. I think even sold better on the Xbox One last year. They had that bundle and stuff, so it was just kind of weird. And then Black Ops 3 looked like visually the most dated game out of all the PS4 games. That one looked the least impressive. Like I thought they were going to come with a better game engine finally, and nope. As a Call of Duty veteran myself, I was actually looking forward to Treyarch's next game and to see it look almost like Advanced Warfare clone. There's wall running like Titanfall, double jumping, and it's just like it didn't feel like Call of Duty anymore. And it's just like, you know what, and maybe because I didn't play Advanced Warfare much, and it's skipping Nintendo, the Wii U again. Maybe that's why I'm not as excited. But I mean, I'm just like that. To me,
I'm gonna get it on X1, but
I mean, if I had one of the new systems, Treyarch's made 2 great games in a row, so I would like to think that this one's going to be good too. But it just, I don't know, it didn't do much for me as a Call of Duty fan. It just looked dated, like everything about it's like, all right, aren't we done with this? Aren't you guys tired of Call of Duty? Because I know I am. So overall, I give Sony's press conference a C-. I know some people are going to think that's just fanboy talking, but the Batman was terrible. What they showed was terrible. The Battlefront, what they showed was terrible. And I know those games are going to be, well, I don't know about Battlefront, but I know Batman's going to be good. I know Uncharted's probably going to be a good game. It might not be great, like,
if it's at least as good as 3, I can roll with that.
But what they showed just didn't excite me. So that's the reason with the C-. And the speakers, the presenter guys were just,
oh boy,
2 of them were just absolutely terrible. And and Yoshi Yoshida only came out for a little bit, and he's like the crowd favorite.
Yeah.
So, what did you give it for a grade if you had to?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. C-. That's what I'm giving it.
I'm gonna ask this question related to the press conference. Before we move on, Tony Cran thought, who did a better job of hosting Sony's press conference? Sean Layden, I think, is that British guy. Andrew House or Adam Boyles. I'm not sure which one's which, but I can tell you the guy that came out first was, I thought, the best. And then
the no-net guy.
The dude that came out to talk about Destiny DLC and went into another game. That guy, he's just giddy. It went silent after everything he said. He's just a terrible speaker. He did the share button stats last year. And then the guy who was talking during Disney Infinity, those two guys were terrible. So that actually really brought it down. If they had some better personalities on stage, it could have actually raised the grade to maybe a C or a C plus for me. Let's see if we got any other Sony questions. I don't know how to pronounce this guy. Zedia Yen Zero. He said Nathan Drake needs to stop wearing skinny jeans. I didn't notice him wearing skinny jeans. I don't know. So, and then it also says, Ms. T, what does raw gator flesh taste like?
I know what cooked gator tastes like. I don't know what raw tastes. Delicious.
King Grapachi says Sony would have got an F. So that's what you're giving it, King? I mean, it wasn't an F.
I don't give it an F because I thought Horizon would look really good, and I thought For Honor was a good concept. And they did announce, even if they didn't show them, they did announce some stuff, and it wasn't like overly bad. It was a little low moment in the middle. We're talking presentation wise here.
Yeah, presentation.
Yeah, so
not shitting on the future of the PlayStation 4, the games. We're just talking about
if we were going to break it up and say games, yeah, maybe an F for that. Now I want to give it an F for that. I think I still give it at least a D plus for the games because even if they weren't coming out, there were some good stuff there.
Mm-hmm. Capable Tie 7 asks, how did you like Battlefront? He says it didn't get downgraded. Well, if that was PS4 at the EA press conference, that was pretty damn impressive.
Pretty impressive, yes.
As a Star Wars fan, I liked what I saw, except for it felt a little too Battlefield-ish for me.
Right.
But it's got me intrigued. Let's just say it. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. And, again, it looks good. It looks pretty. Okay, great. I'm concerned about the content, so that's my concern.
Yeah.
I already know what we're not getting that we got in the old Battlefield or Battlefront. So,
yeah, we'll wait and see on that. I definitely ain't buying it full price with everything they've said already. All right, so time to get on to Nintendo. Two Nintendo fanboys. Red Knight was supposed to join us. I haven't heard from him, so I guess we'll just we'll go ahead and give Nintendo their lumps. Digital event happened this morning. Nintendo revealed some pretty decent game information in the month and a half before E3 up until the day before or 2 days before. They revealed a lot of good information. So a lot of us Nintendo fans thought, well, if they're showing this stuff now, they must really have something at E3. Even though they told us Zelda won't be there, it's only going to be 2015 stuff. We still thought that they had something up their sleeve. And the digital event comes out. It's like 47 minutes long. It started off with the Muppets. It was kind of funny. Started off with Star Fox. And I was just like, all right, there, you start with Star Fox. They must have something big to close or something big in the middle.
Yeah.
And then they show it. And I'm like, what is this game? Like, this looks like an up-resed Command, or not a Command, Assault. Like, I wasn't blown away with the art style. I was really expecting them to go all out with a really cool art style. And yeah, I wasn't impressed out of the gate. The gameplay looks interesting. Some of the transformations look cool. Some of the later bosses.
Assault?
I thought it looked like an up-res Assault for the week.
I wouldn't give it an Assault. I'd give it a Star Fox 64 3D.
Yeah.
I think it was up-res from that even.
Either way, it was not the Star Fox I was hoping for. It still looks like it's going to be a fun game, and I'm hoping that's just they got 6 months or 5 months. I hope they can work some magic. And we found out that Platinum is co-developing it, even though it didn't look like any element in the game didn't look like anything Platinum. So then they kind of went off, and we got Skylanders, we got some 3DS stuff that, if you like RPGs and stuff, there's some stuff in there for you. An Animal Crossing Wii U amiibo board game. It looked terrible.
Board game, and we stress board.
Yeah, it was terrible. The only like not super, but the only announcement out of nowhere for like a worthwhile mention was Mario Tennis. It looked like it's gonna be a fun game, but that was the only like surprise Wii U game, and I was like, how can that be your surprise game? Last year we got Splatoon, and Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, and the first look at Yoshi's Woolly World, and Devil's Third after the fact, and that it just baffled me. And then what else did they showed? The Metroid Prime 3DS game in 2016 that looked average at best. Like art style didn't fit Metroid. And then they end with a Mario Maker 30th anniversary, like I predicted, and it was pretty cool, the music stuff, and we know that game's going to be awesome. But and then Reggie comes out, and that's it. The show's over, And they mentioned transformation a lot. Like I thought maybe they had really something up their sleeve when they started talking like that, but now I just kind of get a feeling that they were just talking about, transforming the Wii U into the NX as soon as possible. So
definitely,
maybe my high hopes really led me to disappointment, but I was just completely underwhelmed. Thought it was a misfire. There was no real funny moments like last year. Probably the best moment in the whole thing was the lady talking about knitting the Yoshi out of wool and how that became the amiibo, and she had a nice story. That literally was the highlight for me.
Yeah.
And that's sad. So why don't you go ahead and give your take?
Oh, foos. Oh man. Yeah, so we got a digital event. It was a thing. I think you're being hard on yourself about high hopes, because I know for me, the only things that I was anticipating that could have happened or couldn't have happened, because Nintendo, sometimes they'll give you something and then sometimes they don't. But Metroid was one, and I didn't need to see it. I was just thinking that we might. Didn't see it. That was fine. No problem. Same thing goes for Zelda. Obviously, they said it was going to be at E3, and we thought, okay, so it won't be on the floor, but they might give us a new trailer. Nope, nothing like that. And what we got was mostly a Nintendo 3DS Direct, and it's awesome. As a 3DS owner, I'm happy as a 3DS Nintendo fan for this Direct, but as a Wii U Nintendo fan, I'm super depressed. I'm super underwhelmed. I
forgot to clarify that a lot of these games are going to be awesome, but we've already seen them even at last year's E3. That's I forgot to point that out. That's part
2015. 2015 is great as a Wii U owner, as far as the exclusives go. I'm not worried about that at all. But looking towards the future, in this 3D or this Direct or digital event is what had me depressed, because and Nintendo gives us, they tried to give this lip service about, we're just trying to show stuff that's coming out in the immediate future. Well, how long have they been showing Xenoblade Chronicles?
Yeah,
that was an immediate future when we first
showed that in January 2013.
Right.
Direct.
So don't give me the lip service of we're just trying to show things that are coming in the immediate future, because you've done that before. You've shown stuff way before it came out before, which is kind of a new thing for Nintendo, but they've done it. So to me, that's just lip service. And the one thing that could have knocked out of the park for me, which is Star Fox, this is probably the biggest letdown, is the fact, the game looks fun. Like the gameplay scenarios and stuff, that looks great. But I'm hoping this is some kind of early build. And because it takes time to make a demo, especially to stop your crew and put a demo together for E3. That takes time away from development, especially for a game that's been kind of a tight development schedule, a big thing. So I'm hoping that is the case. And obviously Platinum is co-developing the game with them, which is great. We got that prediction right. So, but the game that we see at E3, it looks pretty empty as far as enemies go. Obviously, the texture work is something to be desired. Now, some of the stuff there looks great. Like some of the backgrounds look great. I think the level design is good. I love the fact that they brought back some Star Fox 2 elements with the R-Wing transformer into a walking robot. That was real cool. I think the gyrocopter stuff is going to be cool. There's cool stuff there to be sure. So I'm hoping that this is, like I said, this is a kind of an alpha build or early build of the game. There's still stuff to be finalized that they're closer to on their actual build of the game. But this is just, like I said, an early demo.
Yeah, because some of the trailer stuff showed some pretty cool boss fight in the desert and stuff. So
yeah, and if you listen to the Treehouse, you can hear that the characters are speaking Japanese. The words they're saying, or the words are in English, but them actually, the voice acting is in Japanese.
Yeah, let's just focus. I might as well focus on Star Fox since we're talking about it.
Yeah,
you pointed out the text is so basic and generic.
Yeah, it's like Times New Roman. It's like the basic default text.
And the biggest thing, like someone saying we should have lowered expectations because Nintendo said they were focusing on 2015, but when your big game, the first time you're showing it, and you got a level of Corneria, whatever the first level, and you got like literally a dozen things to shoot until you get to the boss, and the boss is like the most generic. Like, where's Platinum's character designs, enemy designs?
Platinum's flair, the dialogue flair, the character interaction. Where's that?
Where's their influence? So that's what worries me more. I don't, we said visually it looks like an upscaled Star Fox 64. I wouldn't have a problem with that if there was a ton of awesome things happening on the screen. And there isn't. The fire, the explosions, the fire is like two-dimensional. It looks absolutely atrocious. And it just looks like this game needs another year in the oven. That's what was the hard. That was the hardest pill to swallow.
Yes. And if they're not giving another year, we'll have some speculation about that later. But if they're, again, I don't want to get too negative about it because I believe that this is a early alpha build or whatever. So, because they seem pretty intent on when it's coming out, and so hopefully that's the case. But I'm not, And
the Treehouse didn't put any of those worries to rest. Let's just be clear. The Treehouse couldn't even try to make.
It amplified some stuff.
Yeah, it almost amplified the emptiness on the space stage, just completely barren. So that's the stuff that worries me because Nintendo's known for all the details. They're known for details and filling a game world with all kinds of nice little touches and amazing lighting engine. I mean, there's a sequence with that roto helicopter thing where the beam of light is literally just a translucent polygon, like yellow. I mean,
we're talking N64 here.
Yeah, so it's not that I'm a graphics whore. It's just this game looks so early. It looks way too early to be coming out this year.
Yeah, and
that's what I'm worried we're going to get an incomplete, unfinished. It'll work. I'm sure they'll get the bugs out, but it's just it didn't have enough time. It doesn't seem like it's going to have enough time. A lot of people were worried about that beforehand. A lot of people said that can this game, with its like shorter development cycle as far as the actual game design, the worlds, the gameplay was there, and
I was shooting them down. I was shooting those people down, saying no. Star Fox was in development for Wii for a while too, and I was like, they probably just took all that stuff, the scenarios and the dialogue, and put all that together for the Wii U one, and so it made the development cycle a lot quicker. But if this is any indication, those people concerns are warranted because man.
Yeah, it's that's what we're concerned about. Not that, like I said, we're not trying to graphics whore out here, but it's.
And again, 2015 looks great. Like I said, the exclusives, we knew this stuff was coming. And if Nintendo didn't want to show us anything beyond 2015, then give us more of what we know is coming.
Yeah, all right, let's talk about what wasn't in the digital event.
Right.
Chibi Robo, which they showed in a micro direct, that would have been probably the best 3DS game they could have showed would have been Chibi Robo.
Yeah. Outside of the Zelda Triforce Heroes.
And then we had a Ryu announcement on Sunday, which, got leaked, so that would have been just like this Hyrule Warriors. No Fast Racing Neo, they released a trailer this morning. Looks fantastic. Looks way beyond an indie game. That should have been there. And Devil's Third, even if you got to show the non-bloody stuff, they should have made a mention of that game. And it might be at the Treehouse, but those things missing.
Did they even show any indies?
No, they didn't have a show. They didn't have a reel of indies or anything. They got the indies at home. That would have been a time to announce that.
To let people know,
So that's what's disappointing. We thought they were getting that stuff out of the way because they had so much to show during the digital event, and that's where the disappointment's coming in, because they set it up like they must have had something to show.
Yeah, they influenced our expectations by doing that stuff, by putting that stuff out early. I was like, man. And then we got, because the schedule, if you looked at the schedule for their event, they had 12 to 1:30 slot. So we were like, oh my goodness, they're going to have an hour and a half.
That other half hour was the Treehouse jumping on right away. So, and Francis from Player Essence wants to know if he could join. I just sent you a private message with the link if you want to join in.
Oh, he's out there.
Yeah, he's heading out there. I don't know if he's going later today or tomorrow. So yeah, there's some stuff that could have salvaged the digital event, like we just said. Indie sizzle reel, Fast Racing Neo trailer, Chibi Robo they're playing it right on the Treehouse. Looks like a really fun action platformer.
I'm looking forward to that game. Like, why didn't they showcase that a little more?
And Miyamoto was asked about Zelda by IGN. And he said the game's still coming on Wii U. They have a lot of great stuff to show. They'll show it in the future. And it's like, give us a trailer.
I don't believe it. Sorry. I love you, Miyamoto. But I don't believe it.
So, what else did they?
What else did they not show?
Yeah, they showed the Shin Megami.
We talked about Devil's Third, right? Yeah.
Tensei Cross Fire Emblem, and they showed basically the same kind of musical trailer that we saw at the Direct like a month and a half ago. They didn't show really anything new. What's up, Francis?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep, loud and clear.
Bro, this was brutal, bro.
Yeah. And we're trying to be as nice as possible.
Yeah, we are. And here we are. We're all Nintendo fans in here. And
if you follow me on Twitter, I was not being nice. And I have a video processing. Just to let you guys know, it's still processing. It's taking me about.
I'll have a standalone one as well.
Yeah, and sorry to hijack you guys' conversation.
No, man, good to have you.
But this is really bad by Nintendo. This was the worst presentation. This is like the worst one since I'd probably say 2012.
2012.
When they had.
I think that's generous. Yeah, 2012 was. 2012. That was a
2012 announced the Wii U.
I think that was 2008 or 2009 Wii Music.
Yeah, I think
2012 was Nintendo Land. Yeah.
2010 was good. I think it was 08 or 09. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, this has been the worst conference that I've seen, and just to give you my quick thoughts, the reason why it was so bad, it was because the amount of time they spent on certain titles, it's like Mario Maker. We saw so much of Mario Maker at the Nintendo World Championships,
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why they spent so much time on Mario Maker. Again, I know it's a big title, and just the releases, unless they have some surprises for us in Nintendo Directs, but grading it just based on this actual presentation that they did, it was not very good. Yeah. There was not any surprises. People were, I know a lot of Nintendo fans they were making fun of Sony's and Microsoft's and says, oh well, they don't have, but they had surprises. They had world premieres. Microsoft and Microsoft had a ton of world premieres.
Well, Microsoft won, quote unquote, won it for me this year, which is not saying a lot, but they won it.
Yeah, and the surprise was Mario Tennis. That was the only like Wii U big like game surprise.
That was
like,
one game. See, you know what this
Animal Crossing board game, man?
I said on people on Twitter. I was like, over under how many platformers and mini game collections Nintendo talks about at E3, like, and compared to RPGs, like compared to any new RPGs, we got one new RPG on the 3DS and 0 on the Wii U. I knew that was going to happen just because I wasn't hyped for this year's E3 or Nintendo side because it just didn't. Something felt wrong. And then when Reggie came out and said like, "Oh, we have the NX next year," I was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa!"
Yeah. Well, they've announced their platform 2 years earlier before they did it with GameCube and Wii. They should, knowing what's going on in the the stratosphere, the gaming sphere, they should have not even mentioned NX.
Well, now you know that they're gonna I think the system's being fast tracked. I think there's games. I think there's games that they're holding back on or they're saying dual release Wii U NX, and they're gonna dual release it, or they're just gonna put it on NX because at this point. They've given it.
Miyamoto might not be wrong. We might get Zelda on Wii U.
I think it's going to. I think this happens. Otherwise, why are you going to launch? Okay, you're going to launch Metroid and all these different games that you're holding on to in 2016, right before if the NX comes out in 2017 or if it comes out in 2016. Why would you hold on to that? You're going to repeat what you did with the Wii.
Yeah, and if Metroid's on track to hit 2016, why wouldn't you tease it?
Yeah. It would be stupid to hold it back to not have that on NX as well, unless you want to launch your system with no games. You're going to launch your system with a mini game collection and a new Super Mario Bros. Like you did with the Wii. Yeah. You're not going to have the third-party support. I don't think third parties are going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, NX, even if it uses x86 and all that. They're not going to be like, oh, yeah, we're going to jump on. They're not. Yeah, they're not going to. Even if it does use PC architecture, they're not going to jump on because of what happened with the Wii U. So,
yeah, but I mean,
they're holding back.
But here's the thing, though, like, if it doesn't come next year, I'm sorry, let me cut you off.
I was just gonna say, just the last thing on the NX is if it's XR86 and they can easily port it, that's gonna be. They still might not, but that will definitely. I think we'll get a lot more.
Yeah, it'll at least kill that excuse.
If you're Nintendo, you can't count on that, though. Don't count on it.
No.
They could be setting up for a 3D Mario game, a Zelda game, and a Metroid game in the first year.
I think so. That's what's going to happen.
But anyway, let's get back to the release.
I just wanted to say real quick, though, if they don't release NX next year, which would be, again, unprecedented for Nintendo to drop a console within 4 years, which, looking at the abysmal sales of the Wii U, well, is understandable, but it would still be unprecedented because... But anyway, if they don't drop it in next year, you're gonna have a Wii situation all over again. Mm-hmm. You have a year and a half worth of a dead console for basically a year and a half.
At this point, with what they've announced, it's pretty much. I'm not going to say it's dead because obviously people are going to buy it. It's going to sell pretty much at the same rate it's selling. It's going to first party. People are going to buy the games. People are going to go out and buy the Mario Tennis, and they're going to buy stuff. So no, I don't think it's that people are going to buy Amiibo.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
I just meant if they. This is what their plan was for NX next year.
Yeah, but at the same time, like you can't sit here and put all your eggs in the Wii U basket. You know what I'm saying? When you've already talked, next year you're gonna hear about the NX. Now you've already teased people. People are gonna want it obviously next year, or they're gonna want it the year after. You can't wait 3 years after you first said, we have this NX platform. Like you can't do that. And the Wii U, obviously, the sales aren't going where they want it to go, and 3DS sales are gonna be. They're gonna stay the same that they are, because they do have content coming. But at the same time, it's like Nintendo needs to. They need to make sure that they launch the NX with content. And we already know that Nintendo is having trouble even just providing Wii U games consistently throughout the year. Like look at Yoshi. Yoshi's Woolly World, they have to hold on to it because of just the sparse lineup of first party.
October for that game. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
A slap in the face.
Especially when it's coming out in an English, region, UK.
Yeah.
and this month, it doesn't make any sense.
That's ridiculous. It makes perfect sense for Nintendo. They don't have a lot of games.
It makes sense from that point of view, but. Wow.
We're getting tennis. We're getting Mario Tennis, and we're getting.
Look, I love Mario Tennis. I'm buying that game.
That game looks. I'm sure it'll be fun, but that's your surprise.
That's not blowing my socks off.
So like when you were coming in, Francis, we were talking about the games that they didn't show that would have really helped Fast Racing Neo trailer looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Why wasn't that in the digital event? The Nindies at Home. There's some amazing games.
Devil's Third.
Devil's
Freedom
Third.
Planet. Why not show Freedom Planet and hype
Freedom
up
Planet.
Like Sonic? Like if you like Sonic, check out this next game. You know, like.
I mean, Nindies at Home is a great thing that happened to E3 this year. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Why don't you highlight that? Because I'm sure
they're probably going to pump it in the treehouse, though.
Yeah, and I'm watching some footage of Nintendo's their E3, what do you call it, the area they have allocated for Nintendo, and they have an awesome setup for people can play the Mario Maker levels from the World Championship. So the people that are there are probably going to have a pretty damn good time. But for those of us, I'm so glad I didn't go to E3 based on this digital event. Now I was.
It was like me going to PAX East last year. There was nobody there except for like Microsoft was the only company there. And all they had was like Titanfall. So
I plan on going, but I actually cut my trip down to 1 day instead of 2.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Understandable.
And there's a point we forgot to bring up, or we might have mentioned. Island Hopper says, 3D World didn't look that great at E3.
We were actually talking about
very basic levels, but still the graphics engine was there.
The graphic engine was pretty much there.
The details were there. Just the levels they showed us were very simple, early levels. And
we're with you, Island Hopper. We were talking about that off air.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a chance the next time we see Star Fox, it could look a lot better. So there's always that chance. I'm not saying that's impossible, but the fact
texture-wise and enemies-wise, it definitely.
Let me give you guys a little quote about Star Fox because there's been some more details. So they've talked about they didn't do this with Super Mario 3D World, but with Star Fox they've talked about how the graphics had to take a hit because they're running the gamepad real time, 60 frames per second to both of them. So like, oh well, the graphics kind of had to take a little bit of a back seat. So they never did that with 3D World. They just said, here's a game, and then they're like, yeah, we're working.
3D World had. I mean, it had a copy, but it also had the same image.
3D World's running the same. Yeah, it's running.
Maybe because it's a separate viewpoint. But if that sacrifice isn't just the visual fidelity and it's also the enemies on screen, then that's the problem. If there's not much to shoot, then you don't have
Star Fox.
You don't have a great Star Fox game.
I think they'll populate it more, but I think the graphics are going to stay. Like they're not. If they get better, they're going to get barely better because. I wish we had Shadow Fox here to talk more on the technical side, but to not do like Super Mario 3D World, it was like mirroring the same thing, So it's not. But this is pretty much a completely different perspective, an actual real-time gameplay of you doing separate from something on the TV screen. That takes a lot of juice, and Nintendo. They that's the problem when you do something like this type of tech with streaming tech, and you want to do stuff ambitious like that, and then you don't put the juice in the system because the system isn't. It's not on the same hardware level as a PS4, Xbox One, and you don't want to make it to where it's so expensive, to where you want to get that juice into to where it can handle both. So this is the problem.
I would sacrifice gameplay over visuals any day. Like I love the fact that they're doing the cockpit thing, and
you mean sacrifice visuals over gameplay?
What did I say backwards?
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I meant. I would sacrifice visuals for gameplay any day, but. I'm like 60 frames per second is more important to me than 1080p. But man, it's just the population. Like if I'm looking at Assault with envy, I'm looking at Star Fox Assault, and I'm envious of how many enemies you're shooting, and we have a problem.
Yeah, there was a lot happening in Assault and the space missions especially.
And the problem that I see too is that when you go and you look at Assault on a Dolphin, it might look better. I mean, I bet it doesn't if you kind of just, and I know it's still early, the game isn't done, but it should blow Assault out of the water on a Dolphin. It shouldn't even be like a question.
Yeah, it shouldn't be close.
That's what I was expecting, especially with Platinum. Like the enemy design is so basic and dull.
Right.
Like Platinum's working on this. It's
not even just the visual; it's the design. That's taking me for a loop. I don't.
And it's like even if you compare like other games on Dolphin, like you compare like Smash Bros. Brawl. Smash Bros. Brawl on Dolphin still doesn't look anywhere near as good as Smash Bros. Wii U. Not even close.
Same with Wind Waker. Same with what was another one that people were saying. But anyway, I mean, yeah, Dolphin does a nice job, but it doesn't come close to what some like Mario Kart Wii on Dolphin doesn't look even close.
No,
to
not
Mario
even
Kart.
close to Mario Kart.
Not
Ain't
even.
no way.
I mean, and we're not a graphics whore, like we've said a million times. I'm definitely not a graphics whore. But at the same time, like you buy an HD system, right? And you want it to be populated with a bunch of enemies, especially a Star Fox game, and you want it to look nice. Star Fox has always been one of those games to push graphics. It's always been. That's one thing with Star Fox, right? It's always been one of the games like, man, that's one of the best looking games I've seen, like on the system. Super Nintendo, 64, GameCube. It's always been that way. And then when we get to Wii U, it's like, oh well, all of a sudden, okay, well no, we don't need to push it anymore. Like,
but I want to do like a comparison where I take Star Fox 64 3D and put it and squeeze down Star Fox 0 onto a 3DS screen, and you can tell me the difference. Because I really feel it's not much different, not much better looking.
It's better looking than that game, because that game's it's
a little.
But
there's some nice water reflection, and there's a few little things like I hope
that make it better looking.
I hope they can add a little more too. But like we're saying, the Treehouse couldn't even make that space battle. I mean, the Treehouse was awesome last year. This year they were struggling to make Star Fox look presentable. On the Treehouse Live immediately after, like he was doing a dog fight, and it was just like 2 enemies in space in this huge like Halo style space station.
And we're nitpicking but that's because there wasn't much to talk about. There wasn't much to
now you got EA saying, see, this is why we didn't do space battles.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm watching Skylanders on the Wii U, and it looks like a PlayStation 4 game.
It looks good.
Like, yeah.
And I know, like
Skylanders look good. I'll tell you that right now. Out of that digital event, they made Skylanders
but
look
there's
cool.
there's a lot of clouds hiding. If you
I'm sure like the character models and the area that you see immediately on screen.
They're using
it looked damn good.
Very Turok-inspired fog effect to hide, and hopefully that's just because it's the first time he's doing this. No, as soon as he walks away, the clouds pop back up.
No, they pop back up. Yeah.
So that's never mind what I just said. That's not a good sacrifice to make. But anyway,
you know what? And I'll say this: it's a tough spot Nintendo's in at this point. You know what I'm saying? It's like they have to think about next gen, but then they have to develop on this gen to keep fans happy. Like, well, we can't spend too much. I'm balancing the budgets, and it's like
they have to be honest.
Yeah, but we're talking year 2.5. Like we're gonna be at year 3 this holiday, and I'm sorry. I mean,
and we're worried about the future of this thing, and
they should have.
Wii U or Star Fox?
Wii U. No, not Star Fox. We're nitpicking. We're nitpicking Star Fox because
there's nothing to be worried about the Wii U future. They've already moved on to NX. The future is already sealed.
That's what hurts
mail to Player Essence, Francis.
Because I've been saying, Wii U has some of the best games in Nintendo's history, and we at least had that. The sales weren't there. There was hardware. Issues with the OS and just ease of use with connecting with friends and stuff. But we always had the games, and it just and Yoshi's Woolly World to me looks like a Game of the Year contender for me. Mario Maker looks like a Game of the Year contender for me. I was hoping Star Fox would be a Game of the Year contender for me, and it's not looking like it from any aspect of it. And it just sucks that they have Platinum and
it's like they blew that wad, because I can't see it yet. I don't see Platinum in this game yet.
Star Fox on Bayonetta, like Active Sin Gaming said that looked, why don't you just try to emulate that with like a preset background that looks
more impressive?
Well, because they're using Platinum in name, but they I'll tell you guys another thing about the development of this game. So it's developed by Nintendo and Platinum, like we all know, but there's a few members of Platinum's team
we saw them on stage
that are working out of Nintendo's office. So it's not even like the game's not even at Platinum, their studio. It's like, so they said, hey, come live with us for a bit, in Kyoto and help develop the game with our team. So they just took a few members from Platinum and said, hey, here you go. Like, we have some Platinum members helping. So it's not like it's Platinum's full. I mean, when Platinum made Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2, Bayonetta 1, that's like their main team. Bayonetta 2, pretty much their main team. This is not Platinum's main teams by any stretch of the imagination. This is a couple of Platinum guys, because they've been hiring.
It's like Legend of Korra stuff going on here.
Yeah, this is like Legend. This is like some of the extra people. Ship them over there. It's not Hideki Kamiya or anything like that. I mean, they do have some people overseeing, like, you know, some of the main people from Bayonetta 2. I think one of the guys or something that's helping out from back from their studios, but it's not like full platinum and full force. And I think that's what some people need to realize. It's definitely not that. It's some Legend of Korra, Transformers, Devastation type of stuff.
Well, I mean, if it was, wouldn't they have mentioned that? That wouldn't have hurt them to mention that. So
To mention what?
if it was like full on platinum, Nintendo would have said it a year ago. You know, they would have said.
It's just a couple people. So I mean,
that's why they mentioned it in passing in the E3. Oh, yeah, Platinum's here working on it.
Yeah.
It's like, what even a big announcement? Like,
so
let's fan service announcement.
Let's get off Star Fox for a second. I mean, I know that's the big topic, but
no online either.
Yeah, no online.
We can mention that because that should be at least. Yeah. You should at least have some online multiplayer.
Yeah, no online co-op. You know,
I mean, you had it on the freaking Star Fox Command on DS.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
You're right.
It was.
That's the sad truth, guys. I know.
Bro, the DS was like connecting, like, you know, it was
not
like
the 3DS, but the DS.
The DS was like it had such a crappy online infrastructure too.
Yeah, it's no Fatal Frame. They didn't even show the trailer and a release date. They did it later on. Throw that in the digital event. You know, a lot of I've seen the game and it's not. It doesn't look like it looks like a Order 18-6 type of experience. It looks like a lot of cinematics.
It's a cinematic game. Yeah, you know.
But show that in the.
But a lot of people like those, so people get hyped for those.
I mean, I was watching that. That was the first time I've ever, as a Nintendo fan, was like embarrassed for Nintendo.
Yeah,
like,
I was.
Ever since Wii Music, since Wii Music was worse in my opinion, but this wasn't. This whole thing wasn't too far off, and you know.
This does me no goodwill to say these things about Nintendo. I'm literally home depressed about this. I had a meeting today I went to, and I was depressed about how bad Nintendo's digital event was at my meeting for work. So,
and apparently,
that's pretty bad.
Apparently, Nintendo apologized on Twitter, and he said
I'm doing a story right now.
We take opinions on this digital event seriously, and we work to better meet your expectations. Do you think the CEO should listen to the loyal Nintendo fans and supporters and deliver what they want? I mean, it's just CEO is always never. I mean, he's got a lot of pressure. He's got the shareholders and stuff, but they had a good Amiibos worked out. They got a lot of good things going on, and that's why I was even more disappointed that they're kind of throwing in the towel because Amiibos was a huge hit. Mario Kart 8 was a huge hit.
Allegedly, they're throwing in the towel. We don't know that for sure.
Yeah,
but we all
just
kind of
that way.
Yeah.
So that's.
If they're not throwing in the towel, somewhat. I mean, I don't think they're completely throwing it. They want to make their money, but at the same time, they need to be. It's just they need to be smart about it. You cannot put everything you can't dump like they did with the Wii. They dumped big names at the very end, and then the Wii U came out and nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do that, and you can't rely on third parties. So they need to just be very careful on how much money they spend, what they put into, what they develop, and that's why this year is sparse. Is because, and they wouldn't have said the NX, like I said, they would have never said it. So they just have to be careful. They have to be very careful and smart about it. You know?
Yeah. Like if this was a regular, year and Nintendo was doing great, and they announced, we got a console working on, and it would have been no big deal. We had a console. We'll talk about it next year. We need our next hardware. But because of the situation of the Wii U, and because this E3 was so porous, that's why mentioning NX in this E3 makes it, worse. Makes it more dire. Makes us worry.
It just, to me, I mean, there's a lot of people that already. I don't think a lot of people are surprised though. Like, even if we were to say, yeah, Nintendo's throwing it in the towel, let's just say that's the truth.
I'm a little surprised.
Are you? I don't think.
Yeah, because they toughed it out. They toughed it out with the N64. They toughed it out with the GameCube.
The N64 sold a lot better than the Wii U, and N64 and GameCube. Both of those did not take the amount of money that they put into. The Wii U was the most expensive system that Nintendo's ever invested in. Like, it's the only system that they had that pretty much didn't sell at a profit in the beginning. And they invested a lot into this technology. Like I said, the Wii U gamepad is good tech. It's the gamepad, like what it does. That's good. There's no other system that can do that. You know what I'm saying? At the level that it can do it at. So that's the difference between. That's why they haven't dropped the price, because it's like, can't drop the price, because if we do, we're going to lose even more money. So they're just like, well, we'll just take less sales and just keep the price at $299.
Yeah.
So whereas the GameCube, they're like, okay, well, we can drop the price here, we can drop the price again, we can drop the price again.
Oh yeah, they're totally in salvage mode. They're totally in. I said this probably a year ago that they're trying to reap as much profits as they can. And they'll throw us a bone here and there. But we talked to John Lucas on a podcast. I wonder if he still feels the same way now.
Yeah. I'm guessing.
I see. I was skeptical of him. You guys were talking about, like, I was arguing with him on there. I was like, wait a minute, dude.
I mean, I felt this. Like you said, we're not surprised. I'm a little surprised, but I'm not really that surprised, because we already talked about it. We talked about the fact that I think Nintendo. We thought Nintendo realized that the Wii U is not gonna. It's not going to be some turnaround. It's not going to be some big turnaround, and they're just trying to maximize their profits right now. That's why they're focusing on Amiibo and 3DS.
Yeah, Amiibo's big. I think there was more Amiibo announcements than new game announcements.
I honestly think this gonna, if Nintendo this digital event hits like with everybody the way it's hitting with us, which I think it has.
Yeah, I think if we aren't talking this bad about it, it must be.
That could affect the actual continued success of Amiibo, because now people just aren't feeling the excitement for the Wii U. Like last year, they had an amazing E3. They had a bunch of amazing games come out, and now I didn't go to the Amiibo section for the first time when I went to the store for groceries to see if any new ones came in. I was like, I don't even care.
I'm not gonna stop those scalpers. They'll keep going.
I don't want to buy them anymore. Like this, it's having a bad effect, and I hate feeling this way. But so let's just give a grade, and then we'll answer some of these questions and continue the conversation. I'm gonna give it, regrettably, a D for their digital event, and even the first Treehouse followed immediately after. This just didn't do anything for me. So
I'm giving them a D minus.
I have my
saved them from an F. For me.
I have my video coming up, but I'll just say it's under a C.
Okay. And Capable Tie 7 says, as if Nintendo fans weren't already divided, I think this will actually unite Nintendo fans.
I hope so. There's don't be in denial about this. This is, there's no denying what transpired here, or what didn't transpire.
The funny thing is that it's the best announcement from this E3, like everything has been, for me, Smash Bros. DLC. Like Ryu is so good, and Roy. Those are two really good characters that help change the metagame, and it's gonna make. Well, no, those characters aren't allowed at Evo this year. But the fact that they did the DLC and they've actually improved the online, I'm actually getting better matchmaking. I'm getting better matches with less lag. So that, to me, that was the best thing, in my opinion, so far with E3. Like, that's the thing that I've been most happiest with. So that's not good.
I think the Nintendo World Championship was fantastic.
Oh, that was good too.
Awesome. Yeah.
Great event. That showcased what Super Mario Maker is all about more than any trailer could ever show. And just like they're playing those levels on the showroom floor. So Francis, I know there's probably gonna be a line and stuff, but to me that's cool.
I'll play.
So I almost felt like I was getting trolled by Nintendo. Like the whole Metroid thing, they started playing that music.
Oh yeah.
He had no idea. I thought at least there was gonna be a Metroid on 3DS. Because it looked like
Well, there is, but
no,
that's not
a Metroid
That's
game.
not Metroid. That's a new IP they're working on. They just slapped Metroid Federation.
Right. That seems so cheap to me. That seems so non-Nintendo-like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And watching them play it on the Treehouse Live, it does look like it plays really well and smooth. But the design choice they made just doesn't
the design
fit
choice
Metroid. Just make it a new IP. I mean, sorry, but
Because you're not going to sell that game to Metroid fans. I hope not. I hope they weren't thinking that Metroid fans, after not having one for 5 years, are going to be like, oh, yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
I would think you'd be pissing Metroid fans off like I'm pissed.
Oh my! Have you seen the trailer on the Nintendo's Nintendo YouTube channel? Do you know how many dislikes it has?
Really?
You know how many? I mean, it has more than what Vegeta would say. It's over 9,000, bro.
Wow.
It's well over 9,000. The last time I checked, it could be at 15,000 at this point.
And watch Retro's working on it.
Good.
Watch that's Retro's game.
It better not be.
It better not be.
Retro better be working on Metroid. I would think Metroid for NX and for Wii U, or just for NX.
Like,
I don't want to take it too far because I know people hate when I talk about the NX, and a lot of people don't like when we
I
talk
don't.
about the
I
NX.
honestly made a policy not to talk about it, but I had to because they mentioned it in the digital event.
look, I will never give. Well, as much as most people, I probably will never give Nintendo as much flack as some people do about features and voice chats and all that stuff. But when you start messing with my Nintendo games, that's
why-
when I'm gonna get upset.
That's why I was saying before we started, I was thinking about, and I forgot till just now. The people complaining about the lack of voice chat in Splatoon are probably all like, "Yes, you guys, we were right. We're right to be bashing Nintendo." That feature's still not worth
That still
all
doesn't
the
matter
hate.
to me. Yeah,
Because Splatoon's an amazing game and it's fun and it's just getting more and more content. But when you don't have games to show us, that's where Nintendo always had to stand on. They always had quality games, and they do have great games. Don't get me wrong. We said this already. We've seen X so much. Francis has been playing X, the Japanese one.
2015, like I
Coming
said,
out
it's
in
good to go.
December. That might as well be 2016.
Yeah,
It's like we've already seen enough of that. We've already seen Yoshi. We've already seen Mario Maker to death. The only game we hadn't seen anything from was Star Fox, so that's where all our expectations were, and that's where the disappointment is. And then the only big, I say big in quotations, surprise game is Mario Tennis for the Wii U, and that will be a fun game. Hopefully, a $40 budget title. I thought it was going to be a sports collection game, like
I
a
thought
bunch
so
of
too at
sports,
first.
and
Yeah.
I thought that would be okay. So anyway, let's get to individual questions. We'll be basically covering what we just talked about and some of them a little bit more in detail. But how did you say pronounce this game? His name, Zodia Ying Zero. Do you feel like Nintendo held back a lot of games since they were only focusing on 2015? He thinks that Metroid Wii U is in development. I think they would have showed it personally. So
they showed X 2 years ago, before, and it's still not out here. So, and that's a relatively new IP.
Yeah.
Why hold back Metroid?
I think it's in development. I just think that they're holding it back because they want it on both. They want it on NX.
Yeah. I think it's in development. It's just not going to be a showcase Wii U game. Could have been.
And I mean, like I was just saying, year 2.5, you had a amazing game lineup last year. You had a great E3. The sales really didn't spike that much over the previous year. Still barely 3 million in the year.
Mm-hmm.
But if you had Metroid in development and you still want Zelda coming out on the Wii U, you show those two games and your digital event just awesome becomes so much better, and the enthusiasm for the Wii U continues with all the great games that we already knew about coming out. You don't push Yoshi to October. You don't push X to December if you have Zelda and coming out this year and you have a Metroid in 2016. You could still have that excitement from last year. So the only reason they don't show them is because they're probably not coming on Wii U. I mean, that's what it looks like.
Or it could be, like I said, it could be dual. It could be that we're working on both, but that would be tough, I guess, to do both, since considering that the NX is probably not going to be anything like the Wii U.
And I just rewatched all the Zelda reveal from last year and the Game Awards Zelda they showed, and it just breaks my heart because that game that looks fantastic. And
I have a question. Do you think that they've realized that possibly that maybe that these games they're a little ambitious, and combined with the fact that the Wii U is not doing so well, and these games are supposed to be really good in the open world and stuff like that. Do you think that they've realized that the Wii U maybe isn't quite up to snuff what they need, and they think that it should also release, or they should maybe? I think Zelda's going to come out. Actually, Nintendo's already said that Zelda's still coming out on Wii U. But do you think that maybe they're thinking we can do a little bit more with this new system? Because obviously they have the system. I think they know the specs. I think they know what they're going for, and they're thinking, man, we can do a lot more with this and launch, with this, and hopefully get gamers' attention. Do you guys, just real quick, do you guys think that that's maybe it too, or?
I mean, I think they had a good enough looking game, and they had the right, the world they built. It looked great on Wii U, so I don't think, unless they're just like they said, there's some ideas they came up with. Maybe those ideas weren't achievable. And having a good frame rate,
population,
so maybe that's part of it, but I felt what they had showed us looked good enough, looked amazing, and would have been a visual style that would have been, great for me, as long as they could have had a world filled with things to do on top of that. So. Yeah, we're doing a podcast.
We're doing a podcast.
I'm a little girl.
Hey, I don't know if it's just they wanted to, they needed more power, other than more to do with the sales of the Wii U, and putting that much money into that Zelda title. That's the biggest budget they said they've ever had, biggest team they've ever had, and maybe they just realized they weren't going to be able to make the kind of money back that they needed to. So I think maybe that had more than the actual.
Yeah, because power. I mean, if no matter which way you slice it, you got to look at it from how much you're making and how much the system has sold, to how much you're putting into it. And if you look at the Wii U at this point, it's like that's tough. You want to sell it to a bigger fan base. You want to sell it to more people.
Yeah, but if they had the momentum that they had last year and they could sell another 3 million Wii U's by the end of the year. That's 12 million, they are almost 13 million Wii U's, and Zelda could have sold 2, 3, 4 million. So, but yeah, that's probably about the best case scenario
for them.
I don't think this Zelda selling 2 or 3 or 4 million would be enough.
Yeah, I don't know if that's enough for them.
Yeah, I think Skyward Sword was right on the cusp, probably.
Yeah, they weren't happy with Skyward Sword sales,
No. So
and that was a fan base of. I mean, that game. There was reasons why that game didn't do as well.
Well, yeah, it's their own fault.
It's their own fault. And piracy was I tell you something. It's a lot more people than 4 million people played that game. Piracy completely destroyed that game, in my opinion, too. So
here's a good question related to the NX. If Nintendo needs to launch the NX because the Wii U is selling poorly, then why do you think the NX sales will be better? And why are people assuming that the NX will automatically sell better? Especially if
it's not about it. I don't think it's about it selling better. I think it's about fixing the issues that the Wii U has.
And it will sell better if they have a 3D Mario and a Zelda at launch.
Right.
Oh yes.
Which the Wii U didn't have.
Yeah, it's not even a question. If they said, okay, you get Zelda, whatever the new Zelda title is, you get 3D Mario, and then we got Metroid a little bit afterwards, or something like that, or we got some more, and then like, hey, look at this online play, and maybe they get a little bit of third-party support because it's more like PC architecture. It will sell more than the Wii U at launch easily. It won't even be a. I mean, come on.
Sadly, that's not really saying that much.
I mean, well, the Wii U sold okay at launch.
Yeah, it sold pretty good at launch. So, 3 million in the first couple months. So.
No, it sold at launch. I think it sold something like 500,000 or something.
No, I mean
like
in the
that.
first couple months. I just
the first holiday worldwide, it ended at 3 million at the end of the year. So.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then it dropped right off.
A cliff.
Yeah, that's what happened. Because then they sold, I remember in 2013, they sold 180,000 units.
Over the course of 3 months.
In 3 months. Yeah.
That's rough.
When Adam Sessler started jumping ship from
People
Nintendo.
need to be fired.
And Capable Tie 7 says he's not denying that everyone agrees that was bad, but he's seen people defending the digital event and the no multiplayer in Star Fox on Player Essence already. Unfortunately, he says. So
there's people defending it everywhere. There's no single out my side.
It's everywhere. I've seen it.
It's everywhere. It's on Twitter. It's on IGN. It's on.
What was that? I can't remember the name. It's one of the Nintendo websites. I can't remember the name of it right now. No, it's the one that
Nintendo Enthusiast.
No, not Nintendo Enthusiast. It's the other
Nintendo
one.
News.
No, it's Wii U. It's Wii U.
Daily.
Wii U Daily. Yes, I saw some stuff on Wii U Daily.
They have
my site's smaller than all of them. Just to let you guys know, I don't like when people. Well, not that I don't like. I don't care really, but I'm not a huge fan of people saying, "Well, I heard this on Player." My site's smaller than.
You can't control what people say just because it's your website. I mean, obviously you can boot people, but that's not productive. People have different opinions.
If people want to defend the digital event, then let them defend the digital event. I don't care. All I said on mine was I didn't argue with anybody. I just said this is a horrible digital event, and then people started commenting on there, and I don't care what they respond back to me. I just put this is not good. And if people want to defend the digital event, go ahead, but that doesn't mean I have to. And I'm not going to call people out and and try to make me feel bad.
You're wrong. Get out of here. You know?
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
I hate that.
if 3DS is your main console and you like RPGs and Japanese style games, I mean, there was maybe you did like the digital event.
Yeah, I said as a 3DS Nintendo owner, digital event was pretty great.
But the 3DS is also looking a little sparse. They don't have a Pokemon. They don't have, you know,
They have
Japan.
a Yokai Watch instead.
Yeah, see how big that is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's a good point. I was gonna say, like, even the 3DS isn't having like these big, doesn't have big, exclusives or anything announced.
Where's the new 3DS? Another new 3DS exclusive.
Super Mario 3D World or 3D Land 2.
They got the what is it? Zelda co-op.
Yeah, and that's, you know, again, that's not.
That's like Four Swords Adventures or something. That's not.
And it's not a new 3DS
Three
exclusive.
Swords Adventures.
Why did they make the new 3DS?
Yeah, Three Swords Adventures. And it's using a Link Between Worlds' engine. So, come on.
Put that game together the night before.
And it's got third-person online multiplayer where you have to work out puzzles and no way to talk to them.
Yep, you can't talk to them.
Yeah, I was like, what? I don't want to go online and solve puzzles with people. I got enough time. I got enough problems solving puzzles.
I want to play that game, but that kind of kills it. Like, I'll play with you guys because we'll just get on Google or whatever. But
yeah, that's the only way it would work.
Yeah,
but it's, I mean, like you said, where's Super Mario 3D Land 2? I mean, they could probably put that together.
That game was earth-shattering on 3DS.
Where's Super Metroid 2? There's a lot of stuff. Where is it?
I mean, I was kind of pissed off by the fact that I was expecting to at least get a 2DS or 3DS Metroid, and they give us this thing and slap Metroid's name on it.
Yeah,
that kind
of the Blast Ball game. Turned out to be Metroid. I'm like, come on. So this is an interesting question from
Look, I'm laughing.
I'm sorry. It's almost comical at this point talking about
it. You have to be able to laugh.
I've been laughing all day long because I think I'm laughing to keep from crying.
That's about right.
I've been feeling kind of delirious today because I just cannot believe.
The trickle down effect is can't even watch the Treehouse live. Like I got it in a window.
I was so depressed I couldn't even sit and watch the Treehouse. Like it was that bad.
I'm not watching that Treehouse. Like, I'm not watching them try to struggle through and play the games and try to say, well, look at this because we know after last year's lineup, we know that they're not as excited. They're faking it. I think they're faking it.
Mm-hmm. Last year they were.
Yesterday, did you see that chick yesterday with the nose ring?
Oh, Allie, yeah.
She was acting. I thought she was drunk or something. Like she was acting really weird with Jeff Keighley. I thought they were like gonna get a room.
Oh yes, on the YouTube live, the girl with the tattoos on her arm.
Yeah. I was like, what is going on with this chick?
Like
she knew, and that's why I'm telling you. That's why Iwata stayed home. He's like, this is not what.
Not going over there. No, not going.
Like they know that fans are mad, so you got a couple days here. Throw together some Zelda footage.
Yeah, they got to do something. I think this is kind of new for most Nintendo fans.
Yeah, I'm not used to it. I'm not liking that I have to bash Nintendo. Like it goes against. Like I've been critical of decisions, but the fact that this E3, I mean, like I said, the showroom floor looks awesome. Like if I was there, I'd probably be enjoying the showroom floor. But the digital event,
it does. It looks like I think the showroom floor is going to be cool. I mean, they have games there, but as far as new Wii U games, as far as compared to last year, I don't think the showroom floor is as good as last year because last year you had Smash Bros tournaments where I got that shirt. My Smash Bros. Yeah, you had Splatoon, a big old Splatoon thing. You had Smash Bros. You had Yoshi. You had so many different things that last year. You had Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah.
I had big lines for Hyrule Warriors. I had to wait a long time, an hour and a half to play that game. Like there was in Smash Bros. You can get matches in quick, but Splatoon that took a long time. I mean, there was so much stuff like big hitting games. I mean, this year you're talking about like Star Fox. I don't think that's as big as Smash Bros. Or what they had last year. I think Hyrule Warriors even kind of outclasses pretty much everything at this year's E3 for Nintendo on the Wii U. And Hyrule Warriors was not the best game for me at E3 last year.
No.
So.
Yeah, that says a lot right there. So, Tony Karan, apparently they're working on some kind of R-Wing amiibo. The fact that it transforms in the game, he's wondering if they'll have some kind of transformation for the amiibo for the R-Wing. And I think they'll just sell the different forms separately.
Yeah, probably. Maximize those profits, man.
Mm-hmm. Be cool for transforms.
I do know that the Game & Watch one, it has like multiple different
ones that one's kind of cool.
You can stick into the same base, so I don't know how they're going to sell that or how much it's going to cost, but I mean, you know.
You know what would have made the Treehouse better?
What's up?
Multiplayer Star Fox events.
No joke. That would
have been cool.
When I played Splatoon last year, you knew this was going to be fun. Like, it was hard because people were bashing the game online, but when I did my preview, I was like, this game's good. Trust me.
Yeah,
this game's good. You know?
I plan on not playing anything for the next couple days and watching Treehouse Live, but all I want to do is play Splatoon and Smash Brothers as Ryu, you know? Like, I don't care. Unless they say, hey, we're going to have Big Devil's Third gameplay demonstration. You know, that should be there.
They didn't give a North American release date for that game.
They didn't mention it.
They didn't mention it at all. Got to get
with all the other release dates, when do you think Devil's Third will hit the U.S. now?
It was leaked a little bit. I guess it was leaked, but in August it's supposed to come out in Europe and
August 4th in Japan, August 28th in Europe, New Zealand, and Australia.
We gotta get it.
So we got to get it around there somewhere. So,
but I mean, it just seems like that game's gonna kind of get brushed over in August, I think. But
it should come out, I think, September early. Because what's in September?
Mario Maker, September 11th.
That's right.
So you can't drop it in the same month.
And why September 11th?
Yeah, that's kind of
weird.
Yeah.
All right, let me pick some questions here. Retro Death had a good one. Where the hell did it go? Oh, and Capel Ty says something that they're like, why didn't they hype up the Splatoon Splatfest or something? Why haven't they talked about the Splatoon content? You know, there'd been another good opportunity to announce like a new stage coming today or something. You know, it just feels like they missed a lot of opportunities.
They need something to blunt this onslaught, man.
Can I ask you guys a question, because this is something that's been going on Nintendo's YouTube channel. People are kind of saying this. Do you guys think that Nintendo is afraid of their public image if they showed off violent video games? Because that Fatal Frame is coming out this year. We have Devil's Third coming out this year. You know, and they just decided not to show those games, and those are kind of mature.
Some people talked about that.
They did show Bayonetta last year, though.
Yeah, but the thing about Bayonetta is that you're fighting these mythical creatures. You're not fighting people, slicing them in half, and all the stuff that you're doing in Devil's Third.
Yeah. So but Fatal Frame, they hyped that up in Japan, so they must think American audiences.
Well, yeah, it's the American audience that
I hope
they always try to
covet. I mean, there's no excuse for that release date or something being for that game not to be in the digital event. There's no excuse for Fatal Frame. I mean, if they were so worried about having mature content stuff, then don't partner with these with these companies making mature games.
It doesn't make sense.
don't buy the franchise, because they actually purchased Fatal Frame with Koei Tecmo. Yeah, it's a dual-owned.
The thing is, I don't think they were going to release Fatal Frame here, but they're in a situation where I think they feel like they have to, because there's nothing.
And it only sold 30,000 copies in Japan, so.
Right.
Like they might as well get it over here and try to get something out of it. Yeah. But let's talk about something positive here.
Okay.
This one, Retro Death, he wants to know what our favorite game is. Out of everything we've seen out of E3, you know, across the board, his is Unraveled. Thinks it looks gorgeous. He loves platformers, so it was the only mind-blowing game for him.
I'm not feeling it with that game. I don't know what they showed that made it look so awesome, but
I thought it has promise as it didn't look like a full-fledged title, especially for EA. Like, I don't know what they think that game's gonna be. If it's gonna be like a small budget title or download only, or like a full.
What, Unravel?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks pretty. It has that kind of artsy kind of feel to it. It's it's one of those games that gets talked about that nobody buys. In the end, it's an art house kind of deal, I
thought it looked great as a platforming fan as well.
It looked good as a platforming fan. Yeah, it looked like it has some cool mechanics. Right.
So I would say like I said earlier, the game that has the most intrigue for me and looked from a design style and visual style was Horizon. I don't know if the gameplay is going to be good. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to play out, but from the design, the world they've created, that game has the most, probably would be my highlight of E3 at this point.
Yeah, something that just felt new.
Child.
I'll go right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Something for me, it was, I hate to copy you, Terminator, but Horizon looked phenomenal, and I'll give you just a couple of reasons why it looked phenomenal. One, the fact that they brought this, it's a new concept. I like what they're doing. It's kind of like prehistoric looking, but with futuristic robots, and it's just like you take like a really kiddie idea and you say, let's make it look really awesome. You know, like I thought about that when I was a kid. What if there was robots back then? What if Tyrannosauruses were robots? Like I thought every kid's thought about something like that, and the fact that they have that in there, and then like the bow, like when you put a bow in a game, like you make like a really cool looking female lead and you give her a bow, it's like instant, it grabs my attention. Like they did that with Tomb Raider, although I didn't like Tomb Raider that much, but it grabbed my attention. And they're doing that with this game, but they're making the setting. I think this setting is far more interesting than Tomb Raider will ever be, in my opinion. Way more interesting. And then it's like open world. It's an RPG. It's a new IP RPG from Guerrilla. I'm so glad they moved away from stupid Killzone, because Killzone's stupid. You know, it's a clunky game that I can't stand Killzone, and they moved into something that's new and innovative and fresh. Horizon looks great. That was all gameplay footage running. That was in-engine. That is not CG that they did, and you can tell by just the way that it looked. It was in-game, and I cannot wait to see more of that game. It looks like it's a 2016 title too, so that was probably my highlight of the show.
I don't know if that's going to. Well, they say, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. But yeah, that probably is mine too. Like I said, it's one of the games that feel like quote unquote the next gen, and I'm not talking about the visuals. I just mean like the newness of the look of it, you know. The design. The design.
Yeah, Destiny looked like that. I probably would have bought
the art
Destiny.
design. Yeah, right. So I mean that's what I'm talking about. It just looks like something new.
But I think with Destiny, it was very Mass Effect-ish though. To me, that's how I saw it. I was like, I mean, this is cool, but it's very Mass Effect-ish. Like you're kind of, and it looks like Mass Effect. Destiny kind of looks like Mass Effect. So there's no other game that I can think of in recent memory that looks like this Horizon game. I mean, they've elements, but
yeah, like some of the foliage and like the snowy mountain reminded me of Far Cry 4 a little bit, and some of the elements remind me of some of the wilderness stuff from Killzone, Shadowfall. Just some of the resources for that, but not overall the gameplay and stuff.
Again, on the indie side, Cuphead looks awesome.
That looks
Cuphead looks good.
It looks really good.
That looks like a crazy
and it looks
old school shooter with.
There's one thing where we were trying to mimic, because what was it? Epic Mickey tried to mimic that kind of old school kind of cart. This actually looks like I bet you if you walk by it like in a living room playing, you think it's a damn cartoon from that era. It looks just like a cartoon. Like
it does.
It does that kind of film flicker. It was perfect. I thought it was amazing. And that's what I like about video games. That's what I think video games should be doing. Chasing the animation and other than just the photorealism stuff. That's why
Horizon looks so cool, because it's not realism.
Right.
It's high fidelity visuals, but with the
surrealism.
Sci-fi surreal look, and it worked.
I like stealth too. The stealth was cool. They added stealth
aspects of it.
So that, for me, that's depending on, like I said, what that gameplay ends up turning out to be like. That looks like a system seller for me. So 2016 could be the year. Yeah, I get a PS4, but who knows? I could be buying the NX in 2016. So, and I don't know, honestly.
Oh, that hurts.
That's going to be tough, because they better be a reward program for Wii U owners.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was thinking about that. I forgot. I'm glad you brought that up. They've been giving us some love. Yeah.
$100 for the NX if you bought a Wii U.
Yeah, and they know who bought them, because they can just go on your system and see who were like the day one adopters even.
Because this console I've supported more in the first 2.5 years than any other console by far. I've over 30 plus games, and I've never had that. I've never really even had that many at the end of a generation, let alone 2.5 years in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I just think that Nintendo, I don't know, their strategy was wrong from the beginning, and it just kind of just hurt them throughout. But they still made some great games for Wii U, though.
oh yeah,
So,
and like I said, Yoshi for me looks amazing. Mario Maker could that game for even someone like me who's not huge into creating levels, even though I do have some creative ideas. Mario Maker could end up being like play a year from now, people are still playing it. Like just
oh yeah, I think it will be. I think people are going to make some sick level designs. It's going to be
Mario
awesome.
Maker is going to have a mad, crazy community.
and X coming out in December. That's gonna carry a lot of people.
X is going to be amazing. But there's just going to be people that are normally not going to purchase Wii U because of this. You know what I'm saying? There's like you said earlier.
They were looking for an excuse. They've been looking for an excuse for 2 years.
Yeah, this is the best. This is the best and biggest excuse Nintendo's ever given people. Just say, I'm gonna wait.
YouTube is about to explode. You know that.
Yeah.
Video.
I didn't even want to check Twitter after the digital event. I was afraid.
Sean Long's going crazy over there, Nintendo enthusiast, man.
Yeah. And he's like,
so is Tobin.
He's usually an optimist.
He's usually an optimist.
When you get Sean Long, that's when you know you got issues.
And I'm an optimist too, and I'm an
optimist myself. Obviously,
I would say all of us are optimists.
Yeah, we're all optimists. It's not like we're naysayers.
There's nothing in 2016. There's nothing in 2016 for me to have any excitement for.
Yeah.
Why wait?
Zelda, right?
Yeah, Zelda.
Yeah, if that's still on Wii U, that's. I mean,
they'll be on
great.
Wii U. If Nintendo lied about this that will be more damaging than anything if they lie.
But what else? What else do they have?
Miyamoto said it's on Wii U too, but I think it's going to be a dual release. It's getting the Twilight Princess treatment in my opinion. Otherwise, you're wasting it. You're wasting the chances for your next system. But whatever.
Yeah, they had to make a decision. Do we make games that are going to come out in late 2016, early 2017 on Wii U, or do we save those for the next system? And we'll have to see, but it's looking like they're saving them. But if they do have some decent games coming in 2016, they need to show them in a direct soon, within a month of this E3, to get people back on board. They need to start working on one right now if they have those games for the Wii U. So, Capable Tie 7, I'm going to ask this to you, Francis, because I'm pretty sure you're a Fallout fan.
Yes, big Fallout fan.
What do you think of Fallout 4? He was impressed, having never played the franchise, by how you can customize weapons in the base.
This is the type of game that we've all been waiting for on PS4, Xbox One. This is it. They are doing so much with this game. I love it because they added the character actually has a voice now, and I think it fits the type of game Fallout is more because you're doing so much dialogue,
Mm-hmm.
So I think that works really well. I love the fact that they're going to have PC mods. You're going to be able to play PC mods on your Xbox One and maybe PS4 down the line. But it comes to
that
Xbox
was pretty cool enough. Yeah.
Yes, because that increases
we'll see if
the
crashes the Xbox One or not.
It might, but you know what? Load it back up, baby, because I did the same thing with Fallout 3. That game is buggy as hell. When I first played Fallout on the Xbox 360, I had issues, and New Vegas didn't even work for me. It crashed 8 times in a row, and I literally threw the disc out of my Xbox 360. I said, screw Obsidian and screw New Vegas. But this is being made by the Bethesda's core team. It's going to be a little buggy. We all know it's going to be. But the Fallout games, they're so good and they're so engrossing. And that's what I tell you guys. The RPG, Nintendo, that's one thing they didn't do right this generation was make RPGs, because the biggest games all are pretty much RPGs now at this point, or have really heavy RPG elements, leveling up, getting new different things. Fallout is one of those games that people just like to get engrossed, level up your weapons, level up your character, get the different perks and ability and the skills, and it has the humor. Every time you do something, there's every time you bat somebody, there's humor with the little Pip-Boy, and they even made the Pip-Boy animate. That was the funniest thing, when he's actually swinging his guns back and forth, and he's actually animated. It's amazing. So Fallout Horizon and Fallout, those were the two really big things for me at this year's E3. Fallout was just amazing, and it's coming out this year. I love that they did that. They didn't talk about the game, and all of a sudden, hey, here's Fallout. Oh yeah, it's coming out November 10th. Here you go.
Really?
It's it's coming out this year, November 10th.
That's usually what Nintendo does, and that's what I was expecting at this E3 from Nintendo.
Nintendo shows you games 3 years ago and says, "Don't worry, you'll get them."
That's the problem with showing X that long ago and showing Yoshi's Woolly World that long ago. They had to, because they had nothing. They had no games coming out. They had to show stuff too early.
Yeah, that's why
it's
they were
unfortunate.
so different this gen than what they used to be.
Yeah, now they're doing microtransaction type stuff and Smash and making money off
Not feeling
amiibos.
that.
So and Phantom Sixth Man says people said Nintendo fans don't give Nintendo enough criticism, but Nintendo is really getting it today, and that's true. I mean, they deserve it.
We give it
the
to
thing
them,
about
we feel
the thing
like-
about it is that people. I didn't give Nintendo criticism as much criticism last year because they had games. The games were really good. So then they're going to get some praise. They're going to get a little bit of criticism on the OS, like people have been giving them. But then the games are good. A lot of people that just level criticism against Nintendo all the time don't have the system, don't play the games. You know what I'm saying? Like, but this year it's like you have to give them criticism at this point. So.
Yeah, there's not. I mean, you'd be completely artificial if you only said good things about their digital event, and I would unsubscribe to anyone who was trying to make it seem like an amazing direct. I had a problem with people who thought Microsoft was amazing. I thought it was okay, but now it's looking really good. See, I was not impressed by a lot of the things. Like I said, with Sony's, there's a lot of good games that they showed, but the footage they showed, they just chose poorly the moments they decided to show. Like Fallout 4 at Xbox was way lesser impressive than what they showed at Bethesda's. So it's like, why even show it at Microsoft?
Even their own stuff. Uncharted 4 did not impress me. Yeah. I'm an Uncharted fan. And
I wasn't impressed with Uncharted 4. I think they should have ended with Horizon and started with Uncharted 4. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, because we got a driving sequence. I mean, really? Really?
I mean, we've already known this about Uncharted. Uncharted 4 is Uncharted 3 with super graphics. You know what I'm saying? It's
you had a tank or something? That would have been different. But they're in a Jeep. It was just you were just watching them drive
bet it's going to be
along.
awesome.
I don't know about
one.
awesome. I don't think the game's going to be bad. I just,
It's going to be a polished game. It's going to be
polished. I think it's going to be polished. I just think they should have showed us something better than what they showed us.
All right.
You mean the sequence from Uncharted, or just?
Yeah, I just mean the sequence. I didn't.
Okay.
Just like with Tomb Raider, they showed the Michael Bay stuff.
Right.
They
Tomb Raider. I didn't like that either.
The action blockbuster movie moments, summer blockbuster moments, and it's like, I guess. I mean, that didn't get me excited, and I loved the Tomb Raider. So I'm still excited for that game, and I might actually get an Xbox One for that game, unless depending on when
it's coming on 360.
Yeah, you got that 360?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe. I don't have my 360's pretty much put away for now, for life possibly, until I want to play something.
Compatibility in Xbox One now, so
yeah.
all of 18 games right now.
We'll see.
I think Microsoft is going to sell a lot of Xbox Ones this year.
I think so too.
I think they're going to do very well this year.
And Halo 5, like, that was boring what they showed. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Don't show slow walking for 5 minutes and then a little bit of something at the end.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it's Halo. You're gonna get, it's gonna be Halo. It's not gonna. I'm sure it's gonna be a pretty good game. So.
Probably. And I do want to point out, now I know why people do clickbait and negative Nintendo stuff, because this podcast, this live stream, doubled my previous high total for views at one point. I had 45.
People like that negativity, man.
So that goes to show why people tend to do that. And I'm not gonna keep harping on them. Next.
It's too painful.
Yeah, next podcast I want to focus on some of the games I'm looking forward to, but it's just you got to give them their due lumps, and they deserve it. I think the 2013 E3 Direct was better than this digital event. And
easily.
Yeah.
They actually showed new games.
Mm-hmm. So that's just a bummer. So I'm not gonna get to any more questions. We've been talking long enough.
Animal Crossing boards, you mean? Animal Crossing board and Mario Tennis. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's your big surprise in a non-Metroid game. I mean, you might as well not have had one, because that's worse than not having
That's just like I said. That's a troll move, man.
So and the Treehouse stuff, man. They're showing I think Yokai Watch or something for the last 20 minutes. Yeah, it might be a fun game to play, but it's not interesting to watch. So
I mean, they have to know. They have to.
They need to do something. Like I said, they need to start working on a direct immediately after E3 and get it out within a month and a half or sooner. and showcase, some 2016 titles to look forward to.
It just sucked because I was so hyped after seeing the Muppet thing, which was hilarious.
Mhm.
Then getting Star Fox as the first reveal, and I was like, yes, and then it just went down the toilet.
Yeah, they had nothing except a cool little 30th Mario anniversary little moment.
And when the people started playing music, I was just like, that made me mad. Like when they started,
I should have been enjoying that, but I was pissed off too.
I was actually pretty mad because I looked at the time and I'm like, they said it was going to be 51 minutes, and I'm like, this is what they're ending with.
I wanted to enjoy that more than I did, and
Because
it's not my fault. It's their fault that I didn't enjoy
the Game
it.
Awards, it was so much better. Like the Game Awards Zelda with that music with I forget the name of the group. That was cool. That would have been a good way to end E3. But they used it at the Game Awards, probably try to build up some holiday hype, and whatever. It is what it is. I want to appreciate everyone who watched this live stream. Sorry I didn't get to all the questions. There's just too many. I got to eat something. The worst part, though, honestly, the worst part is now all the Wii U haters, the Nintendo haters.
I told you. It's gonna be so much. I told you.
Yep. I told you so's, but up until this point, the great
you
games.
keep saying the same thing. Eventually, you're gonna be right.
Mhm.
So that means nothing.
We always had great games.
You know what? One of these days, you're gonna die. One of these days, you're gonna die. One of these days, you're gonna die.
Mhm.
Yeah. Right. Nintendo's gonna be back on top. Nintendo's gonna be back on top. Eventually, that's gonna happen. So.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing about it, just to kind of wrap this one up, I mean, like I said, I don't want people to think that I'm just like I'm just harping so bad on it, but I did see just to put a little bit more comedy, because I actually find this kind of comical, to be honest. To put a little comedy into it, I saw a meme where the Wii U opened up like a room, and it was like a Vita and a grave, and it said "move over."
That's funny.
That's pretty good. I gotta give props where props are due. That was good.
Mhm.
Yeah, I should have saved that. I don't know where I saw. I forgot where I saw it. I was done, man. Bro, that Wii U opened the door and he was sweating. He was like in a panic, and then it just said "move over," bro.
And the sad thing is, the Wii U might not ever overtake the Vita in sales. No.
Yeah, that's
It's close, but we'll have to see.
If they had some
they do a
big
little push
surprise-
at the end, at the real end.
Maybe they can always do a price drop too. That can also help a little bit.
Right,
so.
price drop.
A Metroid announcement, Zelda,
Maybe-
even though they said they weren't going to show it.
Some fantastic colors.
Something amazing, and they could have had a strong year again this year. Like, not strong, but equal to last year's 3 million sold, which for the Wii U at this point, they're not.
This would have been a good year for some fantastic colors.
Yeah.
Something. A little push.
But they're kind of set. They're stuck with that. The exchange rate in Japan and the manufacturing costs of the Wii U haven't gone down; they've gone up. They're kind of stuck with that 32 gig model. They're stuck with that. I don't think we'll ever see a revision.
No, they're definitely not going to spend the money on a revision. Not now.
No. They should have did that last year with Smash.
Somebody asked, what do you think of the Nintendo third-party support for E3?
Skylanders.
Skylanders and Just Dance.
Skylanders, Lego Dimensions.
Oh yeah, Lego Dimensions.
Can I just say that the Nindies at Home definitely the highlight of Nintendo at E3.
No doubt.
Like those games are really good.
Yeah, those games are really good.
I was surprised.
I was playing Freedom Planet. It's very good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's sad that's like the best thing. But anyway, enough downer stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do the rest of the night. I don't even know if I can play video games.
I'm so depressed. I don't even want to play.
I want to play Splatoon, but I don't know if I can.
Terminator's gonna turn off. All I see is Terminator turn off his computer and go to his sleep, go to bed.
I'm gonna turn off the lights and bundle up in my Mario blanket and
have a glass of wine. Just turn off the lights and just
squeeze my Yoshi plushie and go to sleep, man.
I just hear Terminator saying, "Maybe next time."
I think I'm definitely considering putting my computer back downstairs. I was planning on just having all this Treehouse stuff to watch out for 3 days straight, and I don't know.
Terminator, you got it set. Now you got to change your plans.
Mm-hmm. I had the week off, and it's like, man.
Yeah.
All right,
I have to
so
cover this crap, so I'm like, I actually have to cover it. So
you
I
have
think
no choice.
you should try just go to E3 and see if there's any lines at any of the Nintendo stuff, and let us know.
there will be lines. People are going to play this stuff. There's going to be lines, but it's not going to be like last year where there was
No.
like where you saw like a bunch of like Kotaku, Destructoid, and all those guys. They're not going to be there this year, in those lines. So
And it's a bummer. It's a bummer because Wii U still has great games, and I supported it. Just the future's looking bleak, but we'll see. We'll see if Nintendo can turn this around with something. But
they're not. They could, but they.
I mean, turn
don't
around
necessarily-
this E3.
Yeah, do
stuff.
something like like you.
Oh yeah, they'll do something. I mean, they'll
They'll
show off like a
something.
Nintendo Direct, like at the end of the year that has like some type of game that we didn't know. They'll do something, but it won't make up for this feeling of this knife that's been wrenched into us right now. It won't make up. For it, in my
I just
opinion.
feel like Nintendo's gonna really feel it this time. From what I see, I feel like they might just do something for us. Throw us a bone.
Yeah,
Maybe.
because they're not going to be able to ignore this, and if they've already acknowledged it on Twitter.
When your most hardest of hardcore fans are upset, then
Yeah.
you're in trouble.
Yeah, it's like I don't know how Iwata's still up, but he's up. Like he acknowledged it quickly, and it's like dead night in Japan. What time is it in Japan? I know it's late, so.
They had to have known that they didn't have anything. They had to have known that wasn't good.
Was it a prepared statement? Like he made it before the digital.
Well, they probably put this thing together a month ago. Who knows? When they
Why
put
did the
together-
Micro Direct come out? Why did the Chibi Robo stuff come out in ahead of time? Why did they announce Ryu ahead of time? Like I just thought they had
Ryu
so
was
much.
kind of leaked.
Yeah, that leaked anyway, but they were planning on showing it Sunday. So
Yeah.
anyway, let's end this broadcast. Like I said, I gotta get something to eat, and
All right, dude.
I'll be back at some point with another video, and hopefully it'll be a little more positive next
Hope we
time.
haven't split our wrists or anything.
My grade is
I thought a
coming
Red
up.
Knight jumped off the Empire State Building and disappeared.
My grade for Nintendo's digital event is coming up. So if you're subscribed to Player Essence, look forward to E3 coverage Wednesday. I got my rental car and everything. I'll be going there early in the morning. I look forward to coverage on Wednesday, then look forward to coverage on Thursday, and also today look forward to coverage. My digital event grade, that's going up. That's pretty much done. It's almost done processing, so look forward to that soon. And also look forward to, I'll probably have a podcast with you guys probably at the end of the week, so if you guys are down for that, that's cool too.
All right. Sounds good. So
Sounds good. Yeah.
we'll catch you guys later.
See ya.